Taking that opening, pausing breath. It is always my favorite thing to do to say, "Good morning, beautiful people." I am Reverend Vicki Jeter, your minister and spiritual director for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living Teaching Chapter. Today we have a very special day, so I'm going to invite Vernon to give us our welcome slide. We absolutely welcome each and every one of you who is among our community, and especially we welcome special guests that are here in honor of Karen and Richard Rader. This may be in the room this morning, or you may be watching this on our YouTube channel or on a recording later. Whichever it might be, we are so honored to have you with us today to share this very, very special time, this very special message from Karen Rader. And now if you would show our second slide, Vernon. Karen and Richard were a married couple, both practitioners with the Prescott, Arizona Center for Spiritual Living. We lost them due to a car accident that happened in Indiana last November, right around Thanksgiving. And I want to make sure everyone understands this is not a celebration of life service. That will happen in Prescott, Arizona, on the 15th of June, and they're going to live stream it. So anyone who's interested in that does not have that information already, don't hesitate to contact me or the center and let us know. Today is an honoring and a celebration of the fact that as practitioners, Karen and Richard lived their faith to the absolute fullest, and Karen loved being a speaker and a teacher of the science of mind. So today, we have the blessing of a recording that Karen did for us as our message today when we get to that part. And I was inspired when I realized that this particular message, the courage to be a bridge, fits right into our theme of holy boldness. And if there's everybody any in the world who knew how to express holy boldness, it was Karen Rader. Now, their loss to us in human terms has been a tremendous learning and bonding experience, stretching the faith about mystery of living and dying for those of us who knew them. From November through just a few weeks ago, actually, Karen made her transition. And that period of time, I mean, really, in prayer and questioning and talking with each other, it's been quite a thing. And so ultimately, today is our celebration and an opportunity to embrace the balance of living and dying. And I know sometimes it seems like, do we really have to go there? Well, yeah, we actually do need to go there with some balance. And I personally know, spiritually and in my own human experience, that if we'll have the courage to go ahead and do that sometimes, just almost as maintenance, that the actual experience of these things becomes easier and more in harmony with what Spirit actually intends for us. And so truly, although it is such a mystery, life and death are one. And we're going to see a little bit more about that today. So as we take this into the atmosphere of opening prayer, we begin with intention. Take a moment personally to check in and see what brought you here today. And settling into that collective, realizing that in spirit we are in the same room. We are divinely aligned in mind, heart, and soul. In this moment, I recognize the presence of the One as love and law, and that the glory of God is the fulfillment of love. And this is all about that fulfillment. This is a glorious moment for which I am so very, very grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you to each of the beings here present. Thank you to each of the beings across the nation, really, who have been touched by the lives of Karen and Richard, and just knowing that this is divine timing and action fulfilled. With that gratitude, I release it, I let it be, and so it is. And I want you all to know that as we move into opening song, this is the opening song that played the day that Karen gave this talk. Karen gave this talk August the 18th of 2019 when we were in person at 300 Spring Street. And this song that's going to play now is actually the song she chose to open that day. And it is There Is Only Love by Karen Drucker.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. It's the love that heals, the love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. 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 There is only
As we move from opening song into the dedication of the mission and vision of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. Our mission is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God. And our vision, therefore, is a world that honors and respects all people. And as we all know, all of this is only as good as you can actually feel it moving through your life. So each week we have an application of what we believe. And today I'm just tickled to offer the application of what we believe from Karen. We can all be bridges for someone who is moving to their next yet to be. And this brings us to our practitioner of the week, Miss Tammy Ellis.
Everybody, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, thank you, Tammy.
Good morning. Today is called I Am Love, a book of compassion by Susan Verde. When I see someone going through a storm of hurt and unfairness, anger and sadness, when the sun disappears and the skies grow dark, and I see there is fear, I ask myself, what can I do to let the light back in? I put my hands on my heart and listen. And that is where I find the answer. I have compassion. I act with tenderness. I am love. I can listen and not say a word. I can be there. Love is being present. I can hug and hold and say, everything will be all right. Love is comfort. I can speak softly and choose my words and actions carefully. Love is gentle. I can give thanks for all I have and I am able to share. Love is gratitude. I can keep my mind and body safe and healthy. Love is taking care of me. I can express what's important to me. Love is creative. I know now that no one is perfect. Love is understanding. I can do my best to make things better when something is wrong. Love is effort. I can celebrate those I've loved before. Love is remembering those who have gone on before me. I can find goodness in a kind word, a helping hand, or a shared smile. Love is in tiny gestures. I can breathe in the air that the whole world shares and know all creatures are made from the very same stardust. Love is connection. With that, let's take a nice deep breath in, a couple deep breaths in. And just as we go into meditation, I offer you to just let any parts of your body that has not relaxed yet, your neck, or just kind of notice if there's some place in your body that just wants to just let go with each breath as you consider these words to be your own, if you so choose. I am willing to enjoy oneness with spirit as I remain open to my bridge connection with divine source. I am willing to build a bridge within myself so my soul, my heart, my mind, my energy centers, and body work wonderfully together. I am willing to build and strengthen the bridge with my loved ones, those who are here on the planet and those who have gone before us, keeping those connections strong. I am willing to build a bridge with people who are different than I am. I am willing to build a bridge with nature, birds, animals of the sea and the lake and on land, with grateful satisfaction, knowing all these bridges are enjoyable and wonderfully sustaining to myself and others. With gratitude for all the bridges that I am, that you are, that we are in the world, I say, and so it is, as we move to a beautiful, beautiful song, Love Can Build a Bridge by the Judds.
Сэцэг их чиг нь хасцаан хаан лид
Лашид шэшрөшл таузанда.
их чаши тхин лав тэнэл ин
Gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart could understand. But love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, 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 anything. Keep believing in the power and between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Yes, I do. Love can build a bridge. Love and only love between your heart and mine. Between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Love and only love. Don't you think it's time? Oh, don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
देखूं दा अर्सो बल्लों दो ले
And so as we come into the presentation, which Karen titled The Courage to be a Bridge, the very first thing she'll say acknowledges that she also chose that particular video. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, that song gets me all the time. So I chose it, of course, to let it get me today. I am so delighted to be here with all of you. I've been here before. Whenever Richard and I are in town, we always make it a point to schedule our visits around coming to this wonderful center. I want to acknowledge Vicki Jeters, who has been a foundation here to really continue to hold the space and to have the vision and to share the vision so everybody can have the vision. Not just Vicki, but everybody can have the vision. And it is spreading out there in ways we can't even imagine. For the board, for Gordy, thank you. I just thought you could do the whole talk. So someday maybe you will, because it was great and I love to hear your stories. They just make my heart smile. And for Reverend Carolyn, have you known anybody who walks her talk, who lives her truth all the time like Carolyn? And she shows up here and gives this place in so many ways. I honor her, bless her, and I'm also jealous. She's at Asilomar and we're we're all hanging out here. And yay, Tammy, you get to go. So thank you all. And Vernon, this couldn't happen without Vernon. I send him slides, but he makes it all come together. So thank you for allowing me to be here, and we'll see what happens as the time progresses here. I'm just very excited to share. So this topic, the courage to be a bridge. We are in the land of bridges. Have you noticed? I mean, wow, how many little towns have like 5 or 6 bridges right here in a row? And one, you know, you can walk across, you can take a wheelchair across, you can drive across, you can fly across, you can do all kinds, and some of the cars do. That's what I've noticed. There are so many ways that bridges have been speaking to me, so I thought, of course, this would be my title today. And it's important to notice how we're a bridge, how we've been carried by bridges, and what is our next yet to be that we want to know that that bridge is there for us. So there's lots of ways that can happen. There was a story about 2 farmers that lived side by side. The father had given them land, parcels, and they were good buddies, able to live side by side happily, getting along, everything was good, and then they had a tiff. I'm not sure if it was the corn got in the wrong space or what happened. And one day, the oldest brother, a carpenter, came to his house, and he said, well, I'm here to help you with whatever you need done, so let me know what projects you want, and you could just pay me a small fee because I need money. And so the farmer says, well, I got to go into town, I got to sell this grain, I got to do all this stuff, so, you know, build a wall here, build a fence between me and my brother because we're not getting along. And I just want the fence right along the stream and just put it there. So the guy goes off, the farmer goes off to town, and he comes back and goes, holy cow, what happened? I told you to build a fence, and this looks like a bridge. And pretty soon, here comes his younger brother across this little bridge that went right over that little stream, and the little brother said, oh my goodness, thank you. You gave in when I have been thinking I have been so small and I haven't opened my heart to you, and you built a bridge. And we can all build bridges in places where we didn't know we could build a bridge. And so the carpenter went off to do his work somewhere else. But I love that little story. There are lots of stories about bridges, and I won't share them all. We can be a human bridge, and maybe you have watched on TV or read in the news about a mother who was in the restroom at the beach, and she hears somebody going, oh my gosh, the riptide and those kids are out there. Her 8 and 11-year-old are stuck out in the water, and there's all these waves coming, and it's getting very ferocious out there. And so she starts to go out there. I have to go out, but, you know, I'm not that good a swimmer. What am I going to do? So she tells another family, another tells another family, even grandparents. I think her mother was there, so it was 3 generations. Well, some wise soul said, we can do this. And they gathered up and got 50 people with the youngest child on the beach going out and bridged the gap to bring those 2 young children back to the... And it's not so small, just like the song says. Everything doesn't have to be a major deal. We are continuing to create bridges in the teeny tiniest ways. And so I would love to hear from all of you sometime, and afterwards you can tell me your story. I'm sure bridges bring up something for you. When you even heard the title, you were probably thinking of certain things that came through your mind, and I started thinking of bridges, how we help other people. But I also started thinking of our bridges between one phase of life and the next phase of life. So we're continuing to go from one stage to the next. And if you ever had someone in your life who was a bridge for you when you were a child, when there wasn't anybody else there that you thought understood you, but somebody showed up as a bridge. And so that is very important. And I think of the lady who lived next door. She would iron all the time, sitting down, and she was perfectly happy to have me come and visit her. So I would sit and tell her my stories, and she would iron, and she would listen, and she didn't have to do anything else probably but nod her head, because I was probably going like this. We have these bridges in our life that help us when things are a little tough, and we're ready to go to whatever's next. So when you do hospice work, and Richard and I have, and so has Joan, and many of you have helped people on their journey waiting for their next yet to be, you become more aware of bridges as well, because we can all be bridges for someone who's moving to their next yet to be. And that's a beautiful opportunity. All these people just teach you, you think you're giving them something, and they give you 1,000 times more awareness, understanding, humility. Oh my gosh. And someday I used to look at people and think, this could be me. This is me. So when I would see a terrible situation that I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do. You never know what you're going to get. And I would think, this could be me. What do I want someone to do? So sometimes I would sing to my patients. Richard prayed for them because he said, you know, really, Karen, they can't complain too much. You know? But singing to them was, and he doesn't mind if I tease him about some of these little things, but singing to people would help them get into their heart space. And that first song that we sang about There Is Only Love, I would sing that because they would feel like there is nothing. But at the right time to sing and share a song that takes you to what's really important, why not? So, but sometimes it doesn't seem so easy, and you know, there's a lot of suffering in the world, and you read the newspaper and watch the news and you think, we need a lot more bridges. But the theme for this month of August for Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide is respecting other nations and people. And I took a quote from Ernest Holmes, who's the founder of this tradition, and what he says is, God exists in everything. God exists in me, and because God exists in me, I am able to recognize other beings in whom God exists. And we're talking the two-legged, the four-legged, the winged. We have the creepy crawly. I mean, we have something to give and to take care of our world. And it's more than just us, and it's more than just our family. We can know it so broadly that the people we love and care for, the people we don't even like, we can still know that in their heart there is this love, there is this God that exists. They just might not know it at the moment. But if we see through the eyes of one who knows God exists in everything, it all takes a different perspective. And I'm working on it all the time, so please do not think that I am up here to share this because I have arisen. I am watching my mind more and more. And as I watch my mind, I see where my prejudices might be, my biases might be, my negativity might be, and I wouldn't have known it had I not started paying more attention to what really creeps up. Like we went down to breakfast at the hotel we stayed in today, and there was a man that had a plate full of sugar. And the first thing that went through my mind is, wow, you know, I hope he's okay with nutrition. You know, I mean, his cells are, you know, I mean, he had everything sweet on there and it was piled up high. And then I thought, Karen, there you go. You think you know what this guy needs to eat. And it's like, okay, it's humbling. And I can just know that there is more to this, and all I need to do is bless him. I don't need to figure out his menu. And that's such a little teeny tiny way that my brain works. And I know all of you have minds that go a little on the crazy side too, so it's okay. Mark Nepo says, thank you. Mark Nepo, I don't know if you've read his book, which I love, is more together than alone, a legacy of community. And he talks about, you're different, go away. Or we can say, you're different, come teach me. And we can say that to anybody, even when we don't agree with where they're coming from, and we think, where did you come up with that? But when we open our hearts to see everything everywhere, it changes, totally changes. And I'm going to go over a little process of blessing that's kind of opened my mind a bit more, and we'll share about that as we go. Anyway, let's see what our next slide is. So our task, so you might be wondering what our task is, and I read this by Albert Einstein. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison of delusions by widening our circles of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. He wrote it in 1950. It was in the New York Times, and he could have written it yesterday, and it wouldn't be any more appropriate. So let us say, okay, the task is there. We can't do everything big. We can't even run for president. We could if we wanted to, but I wouldn't. It's a big job, and I'm not even criticizing or saying anything. Everybody has to do what theirs is theirs to do. And as long as everybody does what's theirs to do, and I believe there's a hope coming, that it's coming every day. It's not like it's coming tomorrow when we get something different. It's coming now when we know that it's possible. Absolutely. Right here and right now. So what do you see when you see bridges? What kind of bridge would you like to be if you could be a bridge? Think about it. You could be a bridge of joy and hang out watching thunder over Louisville and playing and partying. That's some joy, and there's more joy than just being, I think that yellow bridge is kind of cute over there because it's so different. It gives you just like the contrast of an old and new. And I'm going for the new view of seeing the old and the new. And I invite you to join me. You could be a bridge of power, a bridge of generosity, a bridge of compassion, strength. What kind of bridge would you like to be? Just think about that, because your heart tells you what it is. And now when you look at bridges, maybe they'll look a little different, and you say, that bridge looks beautiful. I want to be that wholeness of beauty in me and share it with the world. In the wisdom of children, this little girl, Nan, she said, God, I bet it's hard to love everybody. Everybody in the whole world. You love everybody in the whole world. And in my family, there's only 4, and I'm having a really hard time loving them all. It doesn't always come easy. And I love that little statement. I thought, yeah, when I'm driving down the highway, I can feel that. But I've been practicing this blessing, and it starts to change and shift things, and there is something to it. It's a bridging by blessing is what I'm claiming it. It's kind of like the golden rule, leaving it everywhere. It's in the Bible, it's in the Quran, it's in the Buddha Sutras, it's in the Hindu teachings, it's in every sacred text, and it's on the street if we accept the assignment. And why not? So that's what I'm sharing, a part of that today. So let's see what's next here. Well, what if we accept the invitation to be a bridge? We could do it, and we can do it our own way. Seeds of blessings and bridging all over the place, and I know it's happening right now. And to quote the Bible in Romans, it's plain and simply written, bless those who persecute you, bless and do not curse, rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn, and live in harmony with one another. I know we have a little work to do, and we can do it every single day. And I love that quote, so I wanted to bring that to today's talk. But, you know, our teachers come in all kinds of ways and places, just like I've shared about that. And I've been blessed to read a recent book called The Gentle Art of Blessing. This is by Pierre Pradervan. And this book was written in French, and people kept saying, you've got to write that in some other languages because people need it around the world. Well, he has a retreat center in the Swiss Alps, and he does work with people that come to see him from all over the world. And so The Gentle Art of Blessing is the book that he wrote, and he tells amazing stories of how we can bless instead of going to our default, which is to judge. So when I saw the man with a plate of sugar, I thought, yeah, right, I was judging again. And, but what if I blessed him? And I blessed all the cells of his body. I mean, I didn't tell him this. Bless all the cells of his body that he gets healthy nutrition and lives a healthy, long life. What if I bless him and say, and then may your grandchildren be happy. May you live in financial freedom. You can do that with anybody, anywhere. And the subtleness of that, and I thought I did some of these things. I did it, but I've been on the commitment for it after reading the book to do it more continuously. Like yesterday, I ran into someone I knew on the street, and they started telling me a story, and I was off to do something else. And I thought, oh, pause and bless and listen. And then I could be totally present for this person. But when I thought I needed to be doing something else, if you ever noticed, you totally left the room, the street, you even leave the country sometimes with your mind going. So that was a real important opportunity for me. And he tells a lot of stories in his book, but I won't go through those. Even a man who in the Holocaust, all his family was killed, and he saw them killed, and this man chose to find his way to blessing. It took him a while, but he chose to find his way. And so we can do that also. And what he says is, the practice of blessing is a simple way to develop a constantly centered awareness. It is also a tool for growing universal love and avoiding judgment. From The Gentle Art of Blessing. And one little other quote from his book, he says, to bless means to wish unconditionally from the deepest chamber of your heart, unrestricted, good for others and events. So you don't even have to wish it for people. You can wish it for something happening. I think somebody was wishing good things for these bridges to develop. It took a lot of work. And you think it took a lot of coming together back in 1924 when they were building this first little 2nd Street bridge. There was a lot of controversy about that bridge too. And it took a long time for them to get it built. And I think they even had a toll on that bridge at one time of like 35 cents. And
Back then would have been a lot.
that would have been a lot. So to bless means to wish unconditionally and from the deepest place of our heart. And there's no one way to do it. So you can decide how you want to do it, any way that you like. I just wanted to give you the invitation to know that something is calling you to be more of who you are today and in every day. And as Rumi said, one of my favorite teachers, love is the bridge between you and everything. And what I truly know, it is our bridge between us and everything, just like our songs have said today. And I have a little handout that happens to be out there on the table when you leave that you can get, because I thought, Karen, you're telling them a lot of information, and maybe you'd like to carry something with you, like the name of Pradervan. I loved it because he had Rader in the middle of his last name. So I thought, well, he must be related. Anyway, the practice of blessing, as we talked about, is a simple way to develop constantly centered awareness. And one of the first ones on this little handout is on awakening, so you can start tomorrow, or if you take a nap, you can start today. On awakening, bless the day, for it is already full of unseen good, which our blessings will call forth for to bless, to acknowledge the unlimited good that is embedded in the texture of the universe and awaiting each and all. Everything is holy now, and I'm claiming it so, and I'm inviting you to know it with me. So, kind of breathe that in a little bit, and we'll go right into meditation. There is a power for universe, a power for all of us, a power in the universe, and that expresses that light because we know it is God, the good, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniactive, omniwise, omniscient. That is the full essence of who we are and who everyone else is. And whether they know it or not, that part is none of our business. Our business is to know it is here right now and in everything, everywhere. We feel it. And we pause to bring it deeper into our hearts. Let's, with silent breaths, bring in that awareness, bring in that acceptance of the bridges that we are, and to commit to nurture. How can we nurture, care for, renew the bridge within ourselves that is asking us to be more of who we already are? So we'll have just a few moments of silence. I accept and I am willing to know the truth, and that love is the way. Love is the bridge between me, us, and everything, and so it is.
On Death by Khalil Gibran. You would know the secret of death, but how shall you find it unless you seek it in the heart of life? The owl, whose night-bound eyes are blind unto the day, cannot unveil the mystery of light. If you would indeed behold the spirit of death, open your heart wide unto the body of life. For life and death are one, even as the river and the sea are one. In the depth of your hopes and desires lies your silent knowledge of the beyond. And like seeds dreaming beneath the snow, your heart dreams of spring. Trust the dreams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity. Your fear of death is but the trembling of the shepherd when he stands before the king, whose hand is to be laid upon him in honor. Is the shepherd not joyful beneath his trembling, that he shall wear the mark of the king? Yet is he not more mindful of his trembling. For what is it to die but to stand naked in the wind and melt into the sun? And what is it to cease breathing but to free the breath from its restless tides, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered? Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when you have reached the mountaintop, then shall you begin to climb. And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance.
And so we breathe, knowing in truth nothing more need be said. Still, it is our way to lean into what we know to be affirmative prayer. And as I open this prayer in such profound gratitude for this time and this opportunity, I simply say, I know that Karen and Richard are with us in one space, in consciousness, in heart and mind, and in my own experience, demonstrations, absolutely, they have been with us for these days. This I know to be true with such gratitude. And I trust that this message and this time and what they would have for us now is being fulfilled for each and every person here or listening to this in the future. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. I release it, I let it be, and so it is.
Thank you, thank you. Such a rich, beautiful songs and rich, beautiful message from Karen. Our June prosperity affirmation, if you want to say it with me, you're welcome to. With holy boldness, pardon me, I lost it. I have to get it back. Vicki, would you mind saying it? I've lost it on the screen. Oh, there it is. I got it. With holy boldness, I conduct my abundance and prosperity to new and dazzling heights. And I always love seeing the $1 million bear. Please look in the chat if you would so choose. We really appreciate when you're able to share prosperity from your own prosperity to our center to help us keep thriving and growing. And you can do it by snail mail, or there's some ways to do it online. And I pass to you, Vicki, for the blessing.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Just always trusting this process. You know, there are times for the email pace and the speed of the internet, and then there are times for the pauses and really taking moments of stillness in our heart. And so just offering an extra moment for this time, allowing the energy that's here now to flow through more gently, a little smoother. I know that this time is blessed. I know that this blessing is blessed, and I'm simply grateful, so, so grateful. And just as a measure of celebration, I mentioned to you all last week as we did the blessing of the offering that we recently donated to Bernheim Forest, and there's a little term they have for when you donate certain amounts, and so now we're like recognized as a donor with them, and they sent a letter, and in the letter they said that at that level we have a match. And so we donated $250 and somebody matched it for us and doubled it up to $500. So just that kind of blessing, that's what we have in this moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And I just let it be. And so it is.
So it is.
You
And
got
now for our
announcements?
announcement.
There we go.
Such a beautiful. Yeah, so next week we're delighted that you're going to speak, Reverend Vicki, on the overall topic, as we know, is holy boldness, unbounded and unstoppable. And we'll also be honoring paternal love for Father's Day, which is next Sunday, June 16th. Please join us. And would you like to say this one, Reverend Vicki?
Sure. Vernon thought it was kind of silly that I'm announcing this on a Sunday, but I just want to make sure everyone is aware, because we are normally in our offices and available at just about any time. On the 18th of June through the 22nd, we will be out of office. And so anyone who needs assistance at that time, please do contact a practitioner or one of our board members, and you can find that information at the bottom of the weekly update.
And LCSL, our center, is going to have an in-person gathering. So fun. And that's going to be at Joan Durbin's house that she calls the Tree House. And so we're going to have some afternoons and evenings together the weekend of August 3rd through 4th. And I hope you can join us. If you have questions of that, you're welcome to talk to Reverend Vicki. Harry and I, my husband and I, are planning to go. I think several other people in different cities and states are too. So we're going to have a great reunion in person.
So I will take this one, Tammy, on behalf of Louise. Louise and I talked about this, and she said she'd be more than happy for the persons doing announcements to let people know. Louise has been invited into a grand opportunity to work with the Soul Evolution Collaborative. And she is a practitioner for our center. She has been a practitioner with us since last year. And we had a heartfelt discussion about this because truly she still sees us as a part of her community, as do I, and I'm sure you will too. So she's actually officially transferring her practitioner license to the Soul Evolution Collaborative, but she will remain available to us when we have gaps for practitioner service. So she will be seeing us, and I just really see it as an expansion for both the Soul Evolution Collaborative and for LCSL. I'm delighted that we are a part of that because you know, all of those connections, they just multiply. So if you have any questions for Louise, I'm sure she would be happy to let you know more about that. And of course, she's with us today. She was the person letting people in. So that's good. We can go on. And so this back to Tammy.
Yeah, so please stay with us for sharing time after the benediction. We'd just like to, if you'd like to tell where you're at or what's going on or something about the service that touched you, I hope you'll join us afterwards. And if you'd like to sing on the count of 3 to yourself and to each other, 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. And please enjoy our closing song, Bridge Over Troubled Water by Cecil Kirkjabo and Russell Watson.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all.
when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. I'm on your side. Oh, when you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will ease your
I just invite you to say our benediction as you wish. Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. The soul that rises with us, our life's star, hath had elsewhere its setting, and cometh from afar. Not in entire forgetfulness, not in unconsciousness, but trailing clouds of glory do we come from God, who is our home. Heaven lies about us in our infancy.